Welcome back everyone to today's daily market recap. Today is 29th August 2024. Like always, whenever we do our market review, we go through some of the concepts. Those are previous day high, previous day low. We'll look into the open high low close or open low high close. We'll look into the power of 3, time, fair value gaps, SMT, and standard deviation. This is basically our checklist whenever we do reviews for a particular day, irrespective of the times. So, again, today is Thursday. This up close candle that you see here, this has already been printed. Going into today, since price on Wednesday closed below Tuesday's low, I wanted to see price go lower. However, since we are already into a daily busy, I wanted to wait till market open to see how price reacts, because if price would have reacted aggressively, then there was a chance that we might end up into this second daily busy, which is close to a discounted in the discounted zone. Anyways, that did not happen. However, that was my idea. So even though I was a little bit bearish because on Wednesday we closed below Tuesday's low, that is why I wanted to see Wednesday's low being taken or being rated, but I did not know if the price was planning to continue heading lower into this daily busy. So I was waiting for the 6 a.m. 4-hour candle to close. So before we go to the 4-hour, let's go on the weekly chart. This is just to understand where we are in the week. Like I said, today is Thursday and the day has already been done. We can see that we are almost close to the mean threshold of this fair value gap, and this is your weekly busy or weekly buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, or you call it as a fair value gap. We are very close to the mean threshold of it, and the price has aggressively reacted up. Looking at that, I am hoping for price to continue heading higher. So this, the small bar that you see, this is basically the start of Friday. So I'm expecting Friday to continue expanding higher. We also have 10 a.m. news tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. For today, let's go into the 4-hour chart to see what my trade ideas were and what I was thinking going into the market. Okay, so like I discussed yesterday, on Monday we saw 6 a.m. candle. This is the 6 a.m. 4-hour candle. See how it aggressively closed down, and then going into 10 a.m. we had another push down. Similarly, if you look at this day, that's Wednesday, 6 a.m. was an aggressive candle to the downside, and then 10 a.m. continued to the downside. Yesterday I mentioned if we were bullish, then we want to see some bullish candles being formed at 6 a.m., which will validate us going higher at the 10 a.m. start of 4-hour candle. So going into today, we saw 3 aggressive candles to the upside. The 6 a.m. candle closed pretty strong. You see there is not much of a wick right at the top. This validated for me to go longs. So even though my initial bias was bearish. I saw that as soon as yesterday's low or the previous day's low was taken, price immediately started to reverse, and right at close of 6 a.m. we did not see much of a wick. That being said, I was pretty positive that we were planning to go higher. Now let's go into the 15-minute chart. This is where I have arranged or marked all the timestamps. So right at the top we have previous day high, and this is nothing but our Wednesday's high. This point at the low, this is Wednesday's low. You'll see there was a trading gap that was formed here. So price closed Wednesday right around this area, right? And directly we saw a gap in the opening price. Price traded a bit higher and then continued lower, forming a small gap here. So what we see, we head lower, we take the previous day low, we continued a bit lower, and right here is your 6 p.m. daily open. So 6 p.m. daily open, we continued lower, and then we started moving higher, right? We kept moving higher, and this is the point where we saw our midnight open. In midnight open, we did not see any manipulation. We started heading and we continued to head higher. This is an expansion that we saw. There is no movement or no intermediate term lows that were formed here. We continued trading higher. So if you look at the yesterday's price action, you can see from midnight here we traded higher until 4 o'clock, and after that we had an aggressive move to the downside, creating a market structure shift as well as change in state of delivery. This price action confirmed that this was a manipulation leg, and then we started moving lower. However, today we just had one move to the downside and then we continued expanding higher. At midnight open, we did not see price go low, it still continued higher. We are past 4 o'clock here, past the London session. There is no manipulation to the downside. We kept going higher. And what I want you to do is have a look at the 4-hour candles that are being printed right on this side. We can see a strong 4-hour candle here. We then see our 2 a.m. candle, which is this one, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. candle is this one. So I was waiting for 10 a.m. candle to close. When the 10 a.m. candle closed, what we saw was a formation of a 15-minute busy. I wanted price to get back in the range, tap into this 15 busy and then continue heading higher. There is also one interesting thing to note here is, if you look at the high, the previous day's high, before the 10 a.m. we did not read this high. So this high was left open, right? And that is why when 10 a.m. started, I wanted to see manipulation into the 15-minute busy and then continue expanding higher. So I traded this right at the beginning of this 15 hour busy and got my position scaled out right at previous day high. So today was a very interesting day. For a couple of days what we saw was all the reversals happened in the London session between midnight open till like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning, New York time. However, today the manipulation actually happened close to Asian session or pre-Asian session. This setup that we see is of a continuation trend. Manipulation pre-Asian session or the Asian session, and then continuation throughout London session as well as New York session. And then after New York session, we saw that the price did not go higher. Instead, it came down and it consolidated in the PM session. Okay, so using standard deviations, I use standard deviation to mark this manipulation leg, and we see that 2 to 2.5, this is what we target. However, we closed aggressively beyond minus 2.5. That is why I was confident in this long entry, and my target, mental target, was to reach the max expansion, which is minus 4. Unfortunately, we did not reach the max expansion today itself. We might get there tomorrow. So the standard deviations, I'm not going to delete this. I'm going to keep it the way it is right now, because I really want to see price move in this max expansion area tomorrow. But that was the market review for today. And like I said, for tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch how 6 a.m. candle closes. But looking at the weekly chart, we see the price has pulled back pretty aggressively, and tomorrow is the last trading day of the week. So I'm hoping that the price is not going to go beyond this low that we have already put in, and price is just going to expand higher. So if we look at the day, today's day or the tomorrow's day has already begun at 6 p.m. today, and we already see that price is trading higher. We might see a manipulation, a little bit manipulation to the downside, and then we will most likely start expanding higher. Tomorrow we also have a 10 a.m. news, which is core PCE. So it will be interesting to see how price reacts right at market open, which is 9:30. So that was the review for today. If you have any questions, do let me know. Thank you. Take care.